Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast, Brain Myth Explained. Today, we are going to talk about a brain myth that many people have probably heard before. Creative people are right-brained and logical people are left-brained. It sounds familiar, right? Maybe someone who likes painting says, I'm definitely a right-brained person. And someone who is good at math says, I'm more left-brained. Some online personality quizzes even tell you which side of your brain is dominant. Honestly, it sounds simple and fun. But there is one problem. It is not really true. The key scientific concept behind this myth is called lateralization. Lateralization means that some brain functions are more strongly connected to one side of the brain than the other. For example, in many people, language processing is more related to the left hemisphere. Some spatial and attention-related tasks are more connected to the right hemisphere. So the myth did not come from nowhere. There is a real scientific idea behind it. But here is where the misunderstanding begins. People took the scientific idea of lateralization and made it too simple. They changed it into left brain equals logic and right brain equals creativity. That sounds nice, but the brain is not that simple. The brain is not like a roommate situation where the left side does homework and the right side paints pictures. A famous historical case study related to this topic is split brain research. Scientists such as Roger Sperry studied patients whose corpus callosum had been cut out. The corpus callosum is the thin connection between the left and right hemispheres. In some severe epilepsy patients, doctors cut this connection to reduce seizures. These split brain studies show something very important. The two hemispheres can process information differently. For example, one side may be better at certain language tasks, while the other side may be better at some visual spatial tasks. This was a major discovery in neuroscience. But popular culture took this research and made a much bigger claim than the scientists actually supported. The research showed that the hemisphere had some specialized functions. It did not show that people are divided into left brain people and right brain people. So, what about creativity? This is the important part. Creativity is not just a right brain activity. When someone writes a song, paints a picture, solves a new problem, makes a joke, or designs something original, the brain uses many different abilities at the same time. Creativity needs memory because we use things we already know. It needs imagination because we combine ideas in new ways. It needs immersion because creative work often has feelings and meaning. It also needs attention, planning, language, and judgment. And these abilities do not live only one side of the brain. They involve networks across both hemispheres. So, instead of thinking as creativity as a right brain button, it is better to think of it as a team project. Maybe the right hemisphere helps with some parts, such as broad visual thinking or emotional expressions. But the left hemisphere can also help with language, structure, planning, and evaluation. For example, imagine someone writing a poem. They may need emotional imagination, but they also need words, grammar, rhythm, memory, and editing. That is not just one half of the brain working alone. That is the whole brain working together. In other words, creativity is not a solo performance. It is more like a band. One instrument may be louder at one moment, but the music only works when everyone plays together. This myth matters because it can affect how people think about themselves. If someone says, I'm left brain, so I'm not creative, they may stop trying art, writing, music, or design. If someone says, I'm right brain, so I'm not good at math or science, they may give up too early. But science gives us more hopeful message than this. Our abilities are not fixed by one side of the brain. Creativity can grow through practice, learning, experience, and curiosity. Logic and creativity are not enemies. In fact, they often work together. A scientist needs creativity to ask new questions. An artist needs logic to organize ideas. A musician uses emotion, but also structure and pattern. Even making a new meme probably uses more brain power than we admit. So, the next time someone says, I'm just a right brain person, we can say, maybe you are more creative, but your whole brain deserves some credit. The final takeaway is simple. Yes, the left and right hemispheres have some different functions. That is a real science. But the idea that creativity belongs only to the right brain is a popular misconception. Creativity is not right brain. Creativity is a whole brain process. Thank you for listening to Brain Myth Explained.